teacher in Taylor, Texas, named a top educator here in the state of Texas. HEB awarded Vicki Rowe with the Lifetime Achievement Award. Now that comes with a $25,000 prize for her personally and another $25,000 for Taylor High School. Now, she is just one of several teachers, principals, and school counselors from across Texas who won a total of, get this, $480,000 at last night's Excellence in Education Awards.
Truly, wow. And today we are very excited to get to know Vicki Rowe a little bit better. And of course, she's joining us right here in the studio. So Vicki, thanks so much for joining us and congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
We are so happy. You brought a ray of sunshine when you came in here. So let us talk about your career for just a little bit. So you teach English at Taylor High School, and you've been a teacher for more than 40 years. 25 of those years have been at Taylor. So tell us about your career. What have been the highlights in all that time?
Oh my goodness, there have been many. Actually, when I think about my scholars and all that they have attained, and and I stay in contact with so many of my former scholars, and so just to be able to hear how they're contributing to society, and some of them are doctors, some of them are nurses, some of them are teachers, and so just having that kind of feedback, to me, those are my highlights. Those experiences, when they come back and tell me what they're doing with their lives, that makes everything worth it.
Does it almost mean more to you when you hear another of your former scholars is a teacher now?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Because, I know how much I love the profession and how I'm very passionate about it, and to think that in fact, in Taylor, many of my former students, many of my former scholars are actually teachers. And so to have them as my colleagues now, it's incredible. I love it.
Oh, to get to work with them is amazing. Okay, we are told that your nickname is Yoda. They say that's because you are known for combining your wisdom with humor to try to build trust and really connect with those scholars of yours. So tell us about that nickname. What was your thought when it first came about? And really, tell us what's the most important thing that you have learned or that you teach as a teacher?
I find it really humorous that, because I am a bit of a Star Wars fan. In fact, last night I made the comment, I said, "May the Fourth be with you." Of course. But it was given to me, actually it was started by a couple of teachers. And they're young teachers, first year kind of teachers. And when I first heard it, I thought, oh wow, Yoda's short and really old. But then, I realized that it was more about the wisdom, and I think that power of kindness, and I think that that's probably what they were picking up on rather than the old and short part.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That is definitely the part.
So since we have our very own Yoda in our presence, tell us what really is the thing that you try to impart upon your students? Is there one thing that if you would like them to leave your classroom knowing? And I know that I'm sure there's a lot of things, but what's your main message when you get students each year?
My main message is that they will always be my scholars. And I think when you give them that kind of position in life, in the classroom, they take it very seriously. And what I want them to do is to never stop learning. I teach and coach academic decathlon, and every single year we change our curriculum. And so this next year we're going to be studying the Roaring 20s. This past year we studied climate change, and then before that, I mean, it's something new for me every year. And so to have us working together and studying together, I want them to see that I too am a lifelong learner, and that, boy, the more you know, you realize you really don't know that much, and you need to know more.
And there's always more to know.
Absolutely.
We mentioned there at the very beginning of the segment, you received this incredible honor for your career, and it also benefits your school in particular. So how did that feel when that came your way and they said, you're going to win this?
I was overwhelmed. I was at first speechless, and then to think about what the $25,000 will do for my school, when we all need that to just keep our programs operating. Public schools need that kind of HEB generosity. If we could multiply that in many ways, I think that would be wonderful. but it's hard to describe it. In fact, I don't think it's really fully, made it into my system yet. I haven't gotten it in there yet. But I think when I get back into my classroom with my scholars, it's going to be just pure joy.
Okay, we want to note another moment of joy. It's a big week for you.
Yes, it is.
We want to tell our audience before we let you go, she is going to be appearing on this week's episode of Wheel of Fortune. It appears you already have had great fortune this week. So tell us, what should people be looking forward to there?
Well, of course, I can't say much about it. I don't want to go to federal prison. But I can tell you that, well, it was surreal to actually be there. And a lot of people have asked me, is Ryan Seacrest really that nice? He is. He is the nicest person. And of course, to me, Vanna White, I mean, really.
Icon.
Icon.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's been just, like I said, it was a surreal experience. I can't wait for everybody to watch it. We're having a watch party at the high school.
And
amazing. So, yeah, it's going to be fun, I think.
Let me just say, Vicki, you are an icon to us and to clearly so many scholars in Central Texas here. And so congratulations again. We want to note for people, HEB has been doing this, rewarding Texas educators for years, since 2002 actually. And we'll pull this up here so people can see applications are actually open now for next year's Excellence in Education Awards. So if you know an educator, if you're sitting here watching Vicki and saying, I have a teacher just like that, you can find a link to those nominations in this story on KXAN.com. So Vicki, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for this wonderful opportunity to talk about my passion and my love for teaching.
Well, we are better for it.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you.